As the world mourns the loss of Mother Teresa and Princess Diana, we'll share a conversation with someone who knew them both well and was their friend. Internationally renowned Sri Chinmoy will share with us his revealing insights on the life and times of two very different, but two of the most important people of our time, Mother Teresa and Princess Diana. Sri Chinmoy, thank you very much for this opportunity to share some special insights about two of the most extraordinary women, two of the most extraordinary people who've lived in this century, without question. And they were very different, and yet in some ways seem to have some similarities. And some of what you've written in two very inspirational books about them seems prophetic, which I want to talk about also. But just a little bit of the background about how you met Mother Teresa, which took place a very long time ago.
Many years ago, in 1975, for the first time, I met with her at the United Nations. I gave her a flower, rose. I stood in front of her, and I was invited to pray and meditate for a couple of minutes. There were about 20 religious leaders. They all came to share their views with regard to respective religions. I stood in front of her. It is still so vivid to me, and I felt a blessingful presence. And then many years, after many years, in 1994, I met with her in Rome for the second time. And it was the most significant day and experience for me.
So almost 20 years went by between the first and the second visits.
Yes.
Had you been in correspondence in the time in between?
Unfortunately not, to my deepest sorrow. But when our friendship or our blessing started showering, when she started showering her choicest blessings upon me, we became again very, very close to each other.
How do you approach somebody like that when you first meet them, when somebody is of such world renown, and begin a conversation? I mean, I think one of the things that people would want to know is, what do you say?
What do I say? We see something in each other. And I say, I was sitting, the meeting room was very, very small, and it was quite dark in the evening. She entered the room and looked at me, and she saw that I didn't have shoes on. So she said to me, "It is quite cold. If you do not use shoes, then I am not going to use shoes."
Huh.
I said, "No, that cannot be." So I said, no. So to my astonishment, she was trying to pick my sandals.
Huh.
So I went hurriedly and got mine, and then I put on my shoes. Then she came in. And then she looked at me for a few seconds. She grabbed my left hand first, like this, was sitting in front of me. And then she started caressing my left hand. She was pulling my fingers like this most affectionately. Then when left hand is over, she grabbed my right hand. She started. Then our conversation started.
And you spoke about some of the work she's done, of course, the
And
work
I
you've
was
done.
appreciating and admiring her, and she was showing all her compassion and affection. This moment, she is my mother with her compassion. And the next moment, she is my sister with affection. My lifeboat was plying between two shores, her compassion shore and her affection shore.
I'm sure. You also went to the Bronx at one point to visit her in
Yes,
her
a few
sister's
years
charity
later,
house.
Bronx.
Yeah,
Bronx, I met with her 3 times.
in New York City.
New York City.
Yeah. And you were up there 3 times?
Yes, I was there in 1996 and 1997 twice. I was at her place twice. Once I went alone, and private interview then with my students. About 30 students went and sang for her.
Just the fact that she made as much time for you as she did is remarkable because she was an extraordinarily busy person, always on the go.
She was busy, plus she was not physically well.
No.
I had spoken to her quite a few times on the telephone, and she has written me a number of letters. Even on the day she was leaving for Calcutta from here, she called me on the phone, and after the talk, after our conversation, she wrote me a letter.
Well, you know, you read about Mother Teresa if you read a book or a newspaper article that's possibly well written and sympathetic or supportive of her, and it talks about how she got her calling many, many years ago. But what's your view about why she particularly and people like her get this special calling? I mean, here's an individual who sacrificed her entire life to help people who really nobody else would help.
Her concern for humanity, the suffering humanity. We see people are suffering, and we try to show sympathy mentally. In her case, or theoretically.
Yes.
In her case, it was all practical. She became absolutely one, inseparably one with the suffering of humanity.
She must have had a sense of how famous she was, about how much her reputation had spread worldwide, about how she was revered, do you think?
She knew, but she did not care for it. She cared for only God's love. If people show sincere compassion to the poor, to the needy, then she was satisfied. Her humility aspect was most significant in her life, humility. And I have been in front of many world figures who have blessed me, but she drew my humility immediately, sooner than at once. Just to stand in front of her was enough to bring your proud head down.
Was she ever frustrated by the fact that while she was serving humanity and doing so very much for the very poorest and the neediest and the sickest, frankly, some of the governments in the countries where she was speaking and helping were perhaps not doing quite as much as they could have, certainly not as much as she was doing?
She was disappointed from time to time. She was frustrated at times. But inside her, there was the living presence she felt of the Savior Christ. So she did not give up hope, and she wanted to maintain her promise to her Lord Jesus Christ. The promise was to manifest His compassion here on earth. So as a human being, she did suffer from frustration, despair, but as a divine being, she felt the supreme necessity to go beyond frustration, and she did it. She suffered a lot, but this suffering, she accepted as something on the way, but she did not surrender to suffering. Only she wanted to conquer suffering through love, compassion, and concern.
Guru, when you say suffering, can you elaborate? You say she suffered. In what ways?
She suffered in various ways. In the beginning, the Calcutta government, Calcutta people were hostile to her. They misunderstood her. They thought that very cleverly she was converting them. An incident she told us, it is in the book, in the bus.
Oh, is this the story about the tram where she...
Yes, they were speaking ill of her.
Yes.
And then she spoke to them in Bengali.
Yes.
Ami Bharater Bharat Amar. I am Indian, and India belongs to me. So she kept them quiet.
Yeah, you write about that in the book. She's on the tram, and she overhears two women speaking in Bengali,
Yes.
and they don't think she understands what they're saying,
That's right.
and they're talking very poorly, or they're speaking quite badly about her,
About
thinking that she's there to convert them all to Christianity.
Christianity.
And she says, I understand what you say. I speak Bengali. Spoke 5 languages, actually.
Yes. She went far beyond the barriers of religions. But she said this, she said, love your own religion, but don't be confined to your own religion, and you have to see the things that are good, inspiring,
Yes.
aspiring, illuminating and fulfilling. You have to appreciate them.
Now, she never made an effort, therefore, to convert anybody. That was never her goal.
No, only if people come to her and then say that I would like to eat with you, I would like to do everything you do.
Yes.
Then she said, she did not go out in the system, you have to be Christian. If you do not pray to Jesus Christ, there will be no heaven for you. She never said like that.
Yeah.
Only if they want to come in their own and say, Mother, I used to eat with you, I used to pray like you, I used to be near you, I love you. Her students, 2-3 students,
Yes.
they came to her, they're from Bengali family. So what can she do? She is praying in her own way. But if others appreciate her way of prayer, then she has no objection. But she is not asking them or forcing them or begging them. Then no, my way is the only way. She never said like that.
Did she speak about religion with you? Christianity, Hindu, whatever?
Oh no, she only spoke about compassion and love. She knows that she is beyond it and I am beyond. Our love of God was a religion. All the time she is saying, love God, serve God in the poor, serve the poor. So that is a religion. Her religion is to love Jesus Christ, her religion is to serve the poor and the needy.
Well, it's interesting, though, ironically, or because of her incredible compassion and the role model, the example she served for others, I had read somewhere that while the number of nuns, the number of Catholic sisters is going down, decreasing in orders all over the world, or certainly in our part of the world, the number of sisters who joined her order, the Sisters of Charity, actually has gone up. She's actually been able to recruit more women, more young women, to the order she serves and conducts or ruled than many of the other orders. So obviously her example is working.
Definitely her Catholicism has real meaning in it.
Yes.
That vastness. If not to be in one's own tiny room and say my room is by far the best. That's why she was able to collect people from various religions.
Yes. Some of the poetry you wrote about her in your book, the inspirational poetry, is just magnificent. I had wanted to read a few of them or have you read a few of them, but every one of them is so beautiful. For example, I can open any page to this. I was just so moved by this. To be in the presence of Mother Teresa is to establish friendship with invaluable moments. Mother Teresa tells us that the right choice and the only choice is the Christ's compassion heart. And here you write about Christ, and yet coming from an Eastern tradition, you need not. So that speaks to your openness too.
And again, is the name. She calls Christ, and I can call Bhagavan.
Yes.
Name.
Yes.
Your name is Jewel. Your children will not call you by that name. They will call you Dad, and your friends will call you different name. So you are the same person.
Yes.
So here she's called someone Christ. And I say God, or some Indian name, Bhagavan or something. But the same person you are referring to. So since she calls Christ, I want to use the same term, Christ.
Mother, a single whisper from you has transformed thousands of non-believers and disbelievers.
Absolutely true.
True?
Absolutely. There are many who are stark atheists. In her presence, they felt the presence of divinity.
Yes.
So they believed in something.
Now, let's talk about somebody who, when you first mention, seems a world apart from Mother Teresa, and that, of course, is Princess Diana. And one of the things that surprised me most about the beautiful, inspirational book you wrote about Diana, Princess of Wales, Empress of the World, is that when I read how much you adored her and how much you respected her, obviously this is before her untimely and tragic death in 1997, I was surprised. I would have thought if this was, oh, I don't know, some years ago when she was well and alive and beautiful and radiant and going all over the world, I would have thought that you might have, if not criticized her, at least looked away because of how, what's the word, extravagant she would appear to be, how, if not flamboyant, certainly royal. The complete opposite of Mother Teresa, and yet you adored Princess Diana.
I am a man of prayers. When I pray and meditate, I get inner messages.
Ah,
And from on the strength of my inner messages, I felt and I was absolutely sure that she had a most beautiful heart. Beautiful means a self-giving heart. So that is why I admired her and still I admire. Outwardly, she was quite young. For her to be restless at that age is quite common. She had human frailties, weaknesses. So we all are full of weaknesses, but we are apt to enjoy others' weaknesses. It is our human life. So then, how many good things she has done? She was snatched away in the prime of her life. She was blooming. It was not blossoming even. Before
Yes.
she was started, in the case of Mother Teresa, she was fully blossomed.
yes.
She became the flower, she became the fruit, she became the most beautiful flower, she became afterwards, she became the most delicious fruit. Everybody, in her case, this flower is blossoming, but unfortunately, she became victim to wild criticism, and at the same time, they appreciated, admired, and adored her. People there are many thousands and millions of people who inwardly admired her but outwardly criticized her, especially the media.
Well, there's no question.
Again, there were absolutely sincere people who right from the beginning admired her and adored her. And from the day I came to learn about her, I started appreciating her because I saw her pictures, and she's, again, when I told her that you are another Mother Teresa, no, I am
Yes.
such a small, that's,
I was going to
again,
ask you about that.
humility.
Yeah.
She was so humble.
Yeah.
She was so, and again for her, desperately she wanted to meet with Mother Teresa, and I am so grateful to God. God made me the instrument.
Yes, we want to talk about that. Now, how did the meeting with her come about? You actually went to Kensington Palace in
Yes.
London in May of 1997, and you had a meeting with her.
I was planning to give a peace concert at the Royal Albert Hall, so we invited her to come to the actual request also went from the Indian High Commissioner. He liked me, Dr. Singhvi. One of my students wrote to her, and also Dr. Singhvi, Indian High Commissioner, wrote to her about me. So that was our invitation. But she was unable to come on that day. On that day, she had to fly. She had to go to Pakistan. At around 6:30 is her flight. But she wanted to see me around 1 o'clock. She said, I am unable to come, but you come on that day. She gave me an interview which lasted for about 38 minutes.
Of which there was a transcript in here.
Transcript,
Now,
yeah.
she was on her way to visit children with AIDS, I believe, in
No, she
Pakistan?
was, yes,
Or-
no, she
or
made to
children with
the
cancer?
hospital,
Hospital.
some hospital in
Yes.
Pakistan. So she
But again, part of her charity work.
Charity and her heart's oneness heart, wherever people are suffering, she is there first. And that is the real Princess Diana. As here I said, Princess, she's Princess of Wales, but for me, Empress of the world.
Yes.
That is what.
Well, what's interesting, you said something before that really provides a help for us, I think, in understanding these two very special and important people. If I was to meet them, I could only judge by the experience I've had from what they say. In other words, I can judge from the outside. But you have a way of getting into them, of hearing what they said and feeling what they say inside. In other words, both the inner and the outer persons. And your impression of Princess Diana is so interesting because nobody dreamed in May of 1997 that she would be gone by September of 1997, in Diana's case, or even Mother Teresa for that matter. But here you were saying things to her that seemed very prophetic. It's as if you understood what was going on inside her, not just what People magazine's cover said, or the Gossip magazine said, or the tabloid show said. There's
I
something
wish to
deeper.
give you an example.
Please.
How could I dare to ask her to meditate with me if I had not found, as soon as she came in, she sat beside me, and I did not dare to sit beside her, but her secretary said, no, you must sit beside her. I wanted to sit across another sofa, but she said, no, you must, this is the place she has chosen, you have to sit beside her. Then when she came in, first thing I said, may I pray with you for him? Then she said, of course. Then she prayed meditation. She was folding her hands when I was meditating. So if I had not seen, if I have seen quite a few wall figures, and I did not dare, or I did not feel the necessity of asking them to pray for a minute. Here she is the princess, and I am requesting her to pray for me, because as soon as she came, I felt that I felt a divine presence.
And her answer was nice too.
You see, she wants to meditate, she wants to pray like this, she was praying.
Yes.
So here, I do not ask, I have met with many.
And you don't ask them all?
Oh,
you've
no.
met just about every world figure there is?
So many. I have not asked them.
Really?
She is.
But something inspired you to ask her?
Yes, something inspired me.
And her answer is kind
Even Mother Teresa, I did not ask her. President Gorbachev, Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, and all these world figures that I have met with, I never did.
You never asked Nelson Mandela to meditate?
Oh,
or pray?
no.
Or Mother Teresa?
No, we folded hands and he showed me, showered his compassion on me, but never. No, we don't. But here, why? Something within me prompted me to ask her to meditate.
And her answer was so human. She says, oh, I would love that.
So,
I never have the patience to do it on my own. Do it for me.
She's so nice.
So despite the trappings of the royalty, she was quite humble, is what you're saying?
Very humble and sympathetic. See, I carried a briefcase with me, and she did not want me to carry it. I said, no. She carried it for about 200 meters. From upstairs, she carried the briefcase. She won't allow me. She won't. She's not, here is not sympathy. She feels that I'm an elderly person, but it is for her. And her assistant was there nearby. She could have asked her assistant to come in.
And she did it herself?
Herself. She grabbed it from me. She forced me. She took it. And downstairs, she had an Indian statue of one of our gods. And she would say, I'm sure you know who he is. It is this particular God gives us fulfillment. So she knew I was an Indian, so she was telling me.
And another lovely little incident is when you leave the meeting at Kensington Palace and the cab is called for you, you go back in the taxi to the hotel and you go to pay the driver and he said, no, it's been taken.
She is the one, she herself.
She called the cab?
She called the cab.
And paid for it?
She paid because the cab driver would have asked.
What was your reaction to that when you went to pay the driver and you found out she had already taken care of that?
Yes, she was taken care of.
Surprised?
For me, it was not surprise, because during the interview, I felt her heart of sympathy, heart of compassion, her heart of oneness. She was young.
Yes.
People saw her restlessness, but she was so mature in her heart.
Yes.
Mature and pure in her heart. And that people don't see. People only see the surface world.
Yes.
They see a few waves, but they don't see the sea, which is calm and quiet. If they dive deep within, then they will see how calm and quiet. And at that age, is there any princess or any world figure would make that kind of commitment to the world?
Well, that's a great question. Here's a young woman who obviously had all of the money that she could ever want and all of the position. She had been on People magazine's cover more than any other celebrity ever. And she really could have just jet-setted around the world forever. And yet, something drove her, some inner desire, which I'd love to ask you about, drove her to help victims of landmines, children with AIDS. She held them, she embraced them, people with cancer, people who'd been abused, the poorest, again, the neediest. Again, analogous to Mother Teresa in a way, because here she is reaching out to all of these people who have need. We said before that Mother Teresa had a calling from God to do it. But what's your impression or your thoughts about what drove somebody who really was part of royalty, could have lived in that palace forever, and yet chose to go into the direction of helping people who really were suffering?
In a sense, forgive me to say, Princess Diana's role was more difficult. As you mentioned, she could have, wallowed in the pleasures of life.
And most people would have, frankly, in her
and
position.
Princess, she could have gone like other princes.
Yes.
But why did she choose this life of compassion,
Why?
sympathy? Why? And at this age,
Do you know why?
Because of a love of God. When we serve someone, we forget that we love someone. That's why serve. We may not love the person that we are serving, but we love someone. That love is coming from above or from within.
Yes.
That love is compelling us to be of service to so and so. So when Mother Teresa's love for God, she was only manifesting through these people, the poor sufferers.
Now, she had a great admiration, Diana, that is, for Mother Teresa.
Right.
Yes? And she talked to you about
She
that?
had tremendous admiration for the mother.
Yes.
She had tremendous admiration. When I compared her to the mother, she said, no, I'm just a tiny, small. This. And Mother Teresa, she says, she's a small pencil. They have mutual admiration. And Mother Teresa openly said, she is my daughter, she is my daughter.
Yes.
She's saying daughter.
Remarkable.
And why? For her to go to Mother Teresa is something very unusual.
Well, let's talk about that. That was the meeting in June of '97 in the Bronx.
Yes, here, the last
in
meeting.
New York City.
New York
Yes.
City meeting. So she was, like literally she was running after Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, tell her to come to Calcutta. Tell her to come to New York. Mother is, but she's ready.
Yes.
She's ready to come.
And you helped them get together? You helped
Yes,
them? Because she had asked. If
She
you
had
could-
asked me. I said, I'll keep my, because I was supposed to meet with the Mother Teresa. So I met with her and then I told her what to do.
And you were terribly shocked, I'm sure, by the deaths of both of them, obviously, and saddened. That goes without saying.
Shock, it is understatement. I was
Yes.
absolutely devastated.
But the idea that they would have both passed one after the other so closely, do you read anything into that at a spiritual or metaphysical level, or is it strictly a coincidence?
Well, there are many things on television you cannot say. Many things. We can go this far. More than that, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. So
Can we talk about what they might be doing now on the other side?
only other side they are working together, but only, as we said, they may not be. They are not on the same height. Let us say, they mix together. They are still they care for the world, for the sufferers. They are doing it, but both of them are very, very close to each other.
And finally, very briefly, the reaction of the world to them, to their deaths, of course, doesn't surprise you. The outpouring of love and emotion, even the royal family, who was not Diana's greatest friend, and the whole world who turned in the direction of Mother Teresa when she passed, that outpouring of love and devotion does not surprise you.
They deserve more. These two world figures deserve much more than what they have received.
Even more.
Even more, especially Diana, Princess Diana. She deserves. Yes, in England or in Europe or the world, there were people who mourn, who are lost.
Yes.
But they, forgive me to say, the world figures or countries could have come to the fore to immortalize her self-giving life. Unreservedly is the right word.